Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to the Bridge Broadcast Show. This is your host, Tina Boyle White, and I'm excited to be here yet another week to talk with you about the things that are very important to me. And this season, what's been very important to me is really focusing on the soul, not the soul, but we did the spirit, the soul, and the body, and focusing on the body as the realm of really getting from where you are to where you need to be. And today it's really no different than really distinguishing the three. We're a three-part being. And so that's what we're going to talk about. It has been now, this is the third season, season three and season four is really going to be about the body. So if you're looking to really learn and grow in the area of how can I help myself be in a better situation, then you want to stick with me. First of all, I want to thank WYTV7 Christian Broadcasters Network for allowing me to even be in this position to share with you such a global audience. And I want to thank you for just taking the time to listen with me. So today, I want to talk about the topic of intermittent fasting. And I happen to find such a great article. This article was written by Chris Gunnars on July 25th, 2018. It was titled Intermittent Fasting 101, The Ultimate Beginner's Guide. And this is an evidence-based article that was written in Healthline. And so I'm going to kind of look back and forth. I made some thoughts and some notes around it to really just talk to you today about, intermittent fasting and why it's important. I can remember growing up in the church, and every time we would hear the word fasting, I would just cringe because like I love eating, and I just didn't understand the power of fasting. They say that Jesus he fasted 40 days and 40 nights, and so it was never really broken down to really help me understand. It was a situation where you fast and you can get clarity in your spirit, or you can hear from God even more clear or more clearly. But it wasn't really something that was shared to really help us from a spirit, soul, and body perspective. And so for years, I just ran from it. And so, but here more recently, I'm running to it. And why is that? As you know, my focus is all about my health, all about getting and keeping it. And that's my focus for you as well. Getting control of your health and keeping control of your health. The Bible tells us to present our bodies a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable, which is your reasonable service. Well, when you think about it, holy and acceptable, you want to keep yourself in a place where you're pure. Just the other day, and I think I said this on the show, somebody saw me that we were in college together some 32 years ago and said, "Oh, you look the same." And even though I've gained, from an 18-year-old body to a now 50-year-old body, I've gained a little weight, and I'm not as thin or small in stature as I used to be, but pretty much the same height. So when you think about your body and presenting it as a living sacrifice, it's more of how do you keep your body clean? How do you keep your body clear from toxins? That's what happens with your skin. You age faster when there's more things weighing down on your body, and so it has a serious implication for your body and how you age based on what you take in. And so I want to talk to you a little bit about that. I'm just going to walk you through some things and make some major points that I've found as I've done my research. So when you think about intermittent fasting, intermittent, it's one of the world's most popular health and fitness trends going on right now. And right now is like in the 2019, 2018 time frame. So, people are always looking for ways to lose weight. This has become one of the ones that you can lose weight. And so, as we look at the studies, there's studies out there that say it does amazing things for your bodies. So when you think about what is intermittent fasting is eating patterns that cycles between periods of fasting and eating. And so It's not really something that where they say, well, you can't, a water only or a Daniel fast or a certain fast. It's just, a process of eating and not eating. And it's not a diet, but it really is um, a fast where you just giving your body some time to rest. And so there's a couple of common ones that are out there. We have 24 hours in a day, and one of the most popular ones is the 16-hour fast. And when you think about it, like I just shared with you, Jesus fasted. It was a very, very popular thing that was happening back in the day. And so, day meaning years ago, Jesus was our perfect example. It was essentially, times even when our primitive humans that they would function without food, and it would be for an extended period of time. When they had to go and make the catch for food, and many people do fasting for religious reasons, but it was the nature of how things were. It's not now. It's how do we keep our bodies whole and healed, and that's what I'm here to talk about. So what are some ways that we can do intermittent fasting? There's a couple of ways that you can do intermittent fasting. You could actually split up, um, splitting the day of the week into eating and fasting periods, or you can eat very little or nothing at all. But there's some popular methods that I've picked up and started trying. So there's something that's called the 16-8 method. And this one is that you skip breakfast, or you eat daily only for 8 hours of day. 8 hours we sleep, 8 hours you eat, and 8 hours you're just fasting. So say I wanted to stop eating at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. So I would fast from 9 p.m. to 1 p.m. the next day. So essentially, my only eating time would be 1 to 9 o'clock. So that's my 8 hour window that I would do that. Another way that you could do it is you could eat, stop, eat. This involves fasting for 24 hours, like once or twice a week, by not eating anything and eating the next day. Or you could do the 5-2 diet, where you consume only the 500, 600 calories on 2 non-continuous days of the week, but eat normally the other 5. The whole goal is really to help you have a reduction in calories. You want to minimize those calories, and this would help you really begin to lose that weight. And so the article really stresses that the most popular way that people are doing it is they're doing the 16-8. So I'm going to stop eating at 8 o'clock, and I'll fast, do an intermittent fast till 8 o'clock the next day. And so one of the reasons that I really started looking at this now, because it's something that impacts your health. And so when you start thinking about, you don't have your health, you become awakened. And so I don't want any of you to wait that long before you start paying attention to your health. So what does this do? So how does it affect your cell and your hormones? When you fast, there's several things that happen. There's things that happen to you at the cellular level and the molecular level. And it's not often that we think about who we are at the cellular and the molecular level, but that's really where life is really happening. And so if you're fasting, your body does an adjustment, and they adjust your hormones, and then the cells initiate repair processes and change the expression of the genes, your genes. And so here's some changes that when you think about a fast. So we got the human growth hormone. Your human growth hormone, it skyrockets, and it increases up to 5 times what it is. And the benefit that comes from that is the benefit of fat loss and muscle gain. So if you're working on planning, something, in the sense of a program, this is what you can do it. Then there's insulin. So insulin sensitivity improves, and the levels of insulin drop dramatically. So the lower insulin levels make stored body fat more accessible. And so if you're looking at your body and you have weight on your body that you can't rid, just think about what's happening with your insulin, what's happening in your body. And I want you to become more conscious of it. And even if you don't know what I'm talking about, because many people have been diagnosed with diabetes in this country, and I'm sure in many other countries that we are speaking to. So you want to see what it is that you could do to help yourself with the insulin sensitivity, because that's a critical piece when we're starting to think about repairing our body. The more food you put in your body, the more your body has to process. And this is why, you start thinking about what's happening when I eat. Well, what is your body doing? You get tired. Some people call it the itis. You get the itis, excuse me, because when we're eating and our bodies is always processing it, it's just really, really overworking. And it depends on what are you eating that is causing the body to really process. So the third benefit that I want to talk about is really the exciting one. I just, at the cellular level, we're such at micro levels that, when you think about what happens to your body at the cell level, when you're fasting, your cells initiate cellular repair processes. That is such good news to me. This includes, I see, and I thought I would know this, autophagy. Autophagy, I got to look that word up, but autophagy, autophagy. And this is where, and I've been using the words, but I never had to say it until I had to say it to you guys. So this is where the cells digest and remove old and dysfunctional proteins that build up inside the cell. So as you get older, it doesn't really work as much, and your body can't really function and remove things out of the cells. And so when you're fasting, it allows everything. So your cells, what happens when they get overwhelmed, they can't recycle essentially the bad things out of your cells. And this is where we get the whole buildup of sickness and disease. Gene expression, these are changes in the functions. And again, cellular repair, I could stay there for a while, but I need to go on with this recording. So gene expressions, these are changes in the functions of the genes related to the longevity and the protection against the disease. And so we want to be mindful that these things really cause really many levels of disease. So fasting, as we see, will not only help you lose weight, but it will help you maintain your health and help your cells be strong, because that's what we really need to be strong. And so another benefit is the weight loss tool. And so when we think about weight loss, this is becoming more popular. People are using intermittent fasting for weight loss, but that's not the only thing. I'm going to mention it, but really, cellular repair for me is bottom line, hands down, what we need to be doing, because this is how what determines our longevity. There's life in the cell, and so intermittent fasting automatically makes you reduce your calories as well as your hormone levels. It just helps you to facilitate weight loss, and you can burn you can burn fat, because when you do that, neuroepinephrine is really kicking in. And so when we lower the insulin and increase growth hormone levels, it releases that. And so because of these changes in the hormones, short-term fasting may increase the metabolic weight, which will basically help you have, start seeing that weight loss that you want to see. There was a study in 2014 that this eating pattern could cause 3 to 8% weight loss over a 3 to 24 week. Now you got to know that if you spent so many years just eating and packing it in, it's not going to come off that quick. And so we have to just be patient with ourselves. We have to take time, and we have to start one step at a time. It also helps with belly fat, because everything that is disease related, if you carry a lot of belly fat, that's the beginning of a cesspool of diseases. And so we want to be mindful that this is going to help us do the weight loss and get back to the good healthy stuff that we want. So as I wrap up today, I want you to just know the main benefits. Oh, I got to tell you why I do it. So the main benefits is to have a weight loss, specifically belly fat, and then using that as a form to restrict calories. Dealing with insulin resistance, intermittent fasting could help you have insulin, help you can reduce the resistance of insulin, whereby you're lowering your blood sugar. Now, I know many of you out there have are dealing with blood sugar, but I want you to be mindful of this. And being overweight, I'm overweight, and I love sweets, and I've managed to put a lot of the bread and butter. Oh my God. Not really been a pasta person. Don't eat a lot of spaghetti. Don't eat a lot of noodles. Rice. Really going to a better option from rice to more like a quinoa or brown white rice. Another, this is good. That's really, fasting is really going to help you with type 2 diabetes. Inflammation. Some studies show that there's a reduction in inflammation, which inflammation is a key contributor of major diseases. And we talked about on the show a couple of weeks ago that if you have inflammation, there's some good inflammation, there's some not so good inflammation. So you can go back to one of those shows and reference that. Heart health, intermittent fasting, may reduce bad LDL cholesterol, which the blood triglycerides, inflammatory markers, blood sugar, and insulin resistance. All these factors really play a part of heart disease. And then the one big one is cancer. Animal studies suggest that intermittent fasting may prevent cancer. And so when you start thinking about what's happening with all those things and why I do it, getting a diagnosis where you have to become conscious and you really have to take control of your health. Thinking that we have the American Standard Diet, that we have to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner and snacks in between. We really don't have to. We are just really tearing down our bodies, and well, it depends on what you're eating. So if you're eating bad foods, it's going to be critical. So you want to just be mindful of that. So what I just wanted to share with you today was some critical components of really getting yourself together using intermittent fasting and going from there. So I apologize. I had to make a slight transition. So today I just really wanted to talk to you about intermittent fasting 101, really the ultimate guides, a beginner's guide, where Chris Gunnars is the author on the July 25th, 2018 Healthline article, which is evidence-based. I'm really excited to have this resource as an opportunity. I just really want to encourage you to really take back control of your health and really live a life that God has designed for you to live by making healthy choices. And one of those healthy choices that I highly recommend is intermittent fasting. And each day I'm practicing it myself. My goal is to do 12 to 8, but I struggle with snacking. So if that's you, just one day at a time, one step at a time, just move toward that process so that you can see better health. Again, I want to see you healthy, whole, and really living the life that God has designed for you to live. So if you have any questions and you need to reach out to me, don't hesitate to reach out to me, tinaboylewhite@gmail.com, or message me on Facebook that you are doing something, or you got some strategies, or you got some tips. Let me know what you're doing. I'd love to know, and love to collaborate and or hear from you and see how life is changing for you. But in the meantime, I wish you the best. I look forward to seeing you on the next show. We'll have more topics. I wanted to be able to talk through a couple of things for these couple of weeks and share with you what's going on with me. But I will be back with some more guests. So just hang in there, keep making good decisions, and we'll see you again soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.